Revenge films.
My husband is cheating on me. I originally married my husband because I deeply loved him, but after we got married, his parents came into the picture and that didn't help our marriage. When I was pregnant with our child, my mother-in-law insisted on living with us at our place for a whole year. And because of that, I couldn't go back to my hometown like I had originally planned to in order to give birth. I had told my husband, since this is my first birth I'm going through, we agreed that I'd give birth in my hometown with my family there to support me. But to that, all my husband said was,
"But my mom's here now, so you don't have to do that. Just give birth here."
Is all he said. Obviously, this didn't seem to affect him as it did me. After all, I was the one giving birth, and it wasn't my mom that was home with me to help me do so. Not only that, but I knew that my mother-in-law didn't like me. Whenever I made food, and she'd always say things like, "How dare you put food that tastes like this on the table? We make the food so it tastes better. You can't be feeding my son this crap." And would continue to scrap all the food I made into the trash and, "What's wrong with the way you wash our clothes? Everything smells weird. Wash our clothes again." Like this, she'd always had something to complain about. And then when I do the washing again, my husband would come by and ask,
"Where's my shirt? I need it for work. You haven't done the washing yet, honey?"
His mom would hear this, and instead of telling him the truth that she made me do the washing again, she said, "Your wife is being lazy and not doing enough of the chores. She's making excuses not to do anything on account of being pregnant." Instead of trying to make things better, she escalated them further. Being pregnant for the first time was hard enough, but having a mother-in-law staying with us made things so much harder. But I was able to get through the pregnancy and safely give birth to my own daughter. Soon after, though, my mother-in-law made it her duty to look after my daughter herself. She wanted to have full control over my daughter. "You're so cute." When she'd cry at night, my mother-in-law would tell me that I wasn't doing my part to look after her properly, so she'd feed my daughter and put her to sleep. But as soon as I did that, my mother-in-law would pick up my daughter out of bed, waking her up. Then obviously she'd start crying again. And to that, my mother-in-law would say, "It's all your fault that she wasn't sleeping soundly enough. Are you sure you fed her properly?" Like this, she'd belittle me about everything I did for my daughter. Even though he knew his mom was acting this way towards me, he did nothing. So obviously, I soon started to lose feelings for him. He also started not to come home at some nights. Because our apartment was quite small and having his mom over made it feel even smaller. 6 months after I'd given birth, my mother-in-law was told by her friends that her husband might be cheating on her. So to figure things out with her husband, she went running back home in an instant. Honestly, I thought karma had finally gotten to her. I thought this had happened to her because she got been ignoring her husband and spending all her time over at our place belittling me every chance she got. But unfortunately for me, it was the other way around this time. And I also became aware that my husband had been cheating on me too. One day my husband was on the phone smiling, and then the doorbell rang and he went over to answer it. A delivery person had come to drop off some parcels. It was at this time I saw the text at my husband's phone. The conversation that was open on his phone was between him and another woman he was cheating on me with, and they were going about how much they were in love with each other. After that, I decided to hire a private investigator to get to the bottom of this, and as soon as I found out that my husband was indeed definitely seeing another woman, then soon after, the woman came barging into our apartment. She came in and said that she was pregnant with my husband's child, and that she wanted me to get divorced with him. Honestly, at this point, I didn't have any more feelings towards my husband, but it was also bugging me that I was being told to divorce my husband. So it was making me not want to agree to doing so. After that, even my husband came to me asking to get a divorce, but again, it was annoying me that by saying yes, I'd be giving in, so I said no. After that, I left my baby with my parents and went to go look for a lawyer to help me figure out everything that was going on. Luckily for me, I was able to find a really good lawyer. I thought things were finally going to be my way. But that's when the woman my husband had been seeing, her parents, and her lawyer came to my place again, unannounced. Obviously, they were here to get me to sign the divorce papers. "Please, divorce your husband so my daughter can marry him so he doesn't have to give birth as a single mother." Her mom begged me to get a divorce, but the woman in question didn't seem like she was willing to apologize for what she'd done, or ask me kindly to get a divorce. So I just handed my lawyer a business card and said, "I'm sorry, but please contact my lawyer about this matter." I guess they didn't think that I'd have my own lawyer ready too, so they looked shocked. That night, I was able to make them all leave my place, and the next day, I visited my lawyer again. I'd like to not have to make a decision about the divorce papers for as long as possible.
I understand. If you keep saying that you don't want to sign the papers, then they cannot force you to get divorced until they're able to prove that 3 years of bad marriage has gone by. For the time being, it'll be best if you can make sure your husband sleeps at home at night. Also, keep track of the nights your husband stays at home. And make sure to write the dates down in a notebook. And if you can, try to keep in contact with him over text as well. That way, it'll be easier to prove in court that your relationship hasn't soured. I can only advise you on what to do. You'll have to be the one to actually take action. I hope you'll do your best.
I understand. I'll do my best.
If anything changes, then please let me know.
Honestly, I didn't have any intentions of getting back with my husband for good, nor did I want him to love me again. But I wanted to get back at him for the way he treated me and our daughter. I couldn't forgive him for having left me at home with his mom that was cruel to me, while he was enjoying his time seeing another woman. After that, it seemed as though the woman he had been seeing must have said something to him, because my husband would spend most nights at our place profusely apologizing for me over and over again, and begging me even stronger than before to divorce him.
Please, just sign the divorce papers! She's going crazy because you won't. She really wants us to be an official married couple before she gives birth. Please!
But it's not like that had anything to do with me or was my responsibility. Sorry, but you're going to have to talk to my lawyer about that. You can be the one to try and speed up the divorce process, but if you do so, you should keep in mind that the damages you'll have to pay me and the damages the woman you've been seeing will have to pay me will increase. To that, my husband said to me,
Are you the devil or something?
all I could think about was how the other woman was so self-centered. She was just fine with cheating on my husband, yet, but he wouldn't divorce me in order to be with her, she started to throw a hissy fit. There is no way that I'm going to be made out solely to be the bad one in this situation. After all, my husband and the woman he was seeing did so much worse to me. If my husband wanted to solely be with the other woman from the beginning, then he should have divorced me before getting together with her. Because the woman he'd been seeing wasn't happy and he wouldn't get divorced from me quicker, he'd sometimes end up sleeping at our place just to get some space from her. I wasn't particularly happy about him being home, but I knew that this was good for my case, so I decided to let him stay and kept a tab on him for when he did. I thought it was a little strange that the other woman's lawyer hadn't advised my husband not to spend the night at our place, but it wasn't my place to worry about such things. Time went by and our situation didn't change. So the other woman ended up giving birth without us getting divorced. Apparently, she kept on telling my husband to get divorced until just before she had given birth. But because it wasn't possible for her to get me to sign the papers, she ended up breaking up with him shortly after giving birth. After that, it seemed as though my husband had gotten worse over this infatuation with the other woman and had started to feel lonely, so he started asking me to get back with him.
I'm really sorry for everything that I've done. I've finally been able to see what I did was not okay at all. Please, give us another chance!
To that, all I could do was laugh hysterically. You're kidding me, right? There's no way we could ever get back from being a happy married couple that we once were.
But weren't you not signing the divorce papers all this time? Because in the end you wanted us to get back together like this?
It's true that I was waiting for something, but what I was truly waiting for was for you to be broken up with the other woman and left all alone. With that, his face went pale. Now I'm happy to announce that we'll finally be able to get divorced, and I'm glad I'm finally able to sign the papers now.
Are you serious?
Of course. After all, you wanted to get divorced all this time, right? And we finally get to do so. You should be happy about this.
No! You don't have to do such a thing anymore. We can be together now, like we used to be.
I already told you, I don't want to get back to how things were. All this time, all I ever wanted to do was see you left alone, all by yourself. I'll be signing the divorce papers. So, make sure you have the damages you have to pay me ready, okay? Everything will be taken care of through my lawyer. My husband couldn't believe what had just happened, and all he could do was just stand there in shock. But I had fulfilled what I had always wanted to do so. So, with that, I packed my things and left for my parents' house. After getting back home, I made sure to let the other woman know that we were finally getting divorced and that she'd be needing to pay me for damages she'd caused. After a little while, my husband came to see me at my parents' house, saying I should still be with him, and that I don't know what's best for our child. But to that, my dad told him off and firmly made him leave straight away.
Get it through your thick skull, okay? My daughter doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. She doesn't want to get back with you, ever. Just hurry up and sign the divorce papers, or else we'll have to take this to court. No! I don't want to have to go to court. Then hurry up and sign the papers already. Yes, sir!
With that, my husband confirmed to us that he'd be signing the papers and would also be paying me for the damages he caused. The other woman still wasn't convinced that she had to pay me.
Why do I have to pay you for damages anyway? After all, your husband and I aren't even together anymore.
But she wasn't getting away with not paying me anything, so I said to her, if you don't want to pay up, then I'll have to take the necessary measures in order to get you to do so. To that, the woman's parents started to freak out, thinking about what the neighbors would think of them if they took it to court over this.
You should just hurry up and pay the woman the money she wants. Or else, what will those around us think of us? Just hurry up and pay her!
Why does it matter to anyone else, though? Besides, I can't pay that much money. I don't have anywhere near that much money.
If you're not gonna pay the woman, then leave this house right now and with your baby, and never set foot here ever again!
She was told to pay up by her parents, and she must have thought that in the end that was the right thing to do. So she quickly went about selling all of her expensive things my husband got to her as presents, and ended up paying me the money she got.
Please, accept this money. I know it's not all that I owe you, but I'll pay the rest as soon enough. So please, don't take this to court.
She pleaded me together with her parents. Thanks to her finally paying me part of the damages she owed, I was able to soon find my own place to live with my daughter peacefully. Apparently, after everything, my ex-mother-in-law was told by her husband.
It's all your fault that you left me like that to spend time with our son!
And with that, he left her for the other woman he had been seeing. So with that, she was left to live the rest of her life alone. I still think it was truly karma that her husband ended up leaving her because she was too busy belittling me.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.